Well, we are live on Facebook. It's always wonderful when technology works. So I'd like to welcome everyone. This is another episode for the Facebook Give Back series. And today is really a special day for me because, as Michelle has said, she's my sister no, I'm her brother from another mother of another color. And we do the speaker boot camp together. It's been such a unique experience. I'll put that in quotes. Unique experience getting to know Michelle, and it's really my pleasure to bring her on a really special topic today. And so, Michelle, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. We're flying by the seat of our pants today because when we do things, we don't use notes. But her topic today is finding the possible in possibilities. And I thought that was so unique. I have not heard her do anything around this type of topic. So how did you come up with the title?
I came up with that title because so many people I've actually had complaints that I'm too positive during this time period. And I said, it's not that I'm happy, joy positive. I'm positive because I see the possibilities in the outcomes. And I've been doing a lot of podcasts and radio shows where I keep saying this. It's not happy, joy. It's possibilities. I see positive possibilities. And if you want to be negative, you are removing all possibilities. I look at all possibilities, pick the one I like and focus on it.
You have come through a number of situations, and just like I have, when we look at our lives and when we have things happen that are technically out of our control, how do you stay in that possible frame of mind? Because I think it is a mindset, but it's not necessarily a normal one for most people.
Well, it's definitely not normal. I mean, as humans, our human nature is to focus on the negative. And my thought process is, if I can put that much energy into focusing on the negative, why can't I just focus it on the positive instead? And positive and negative are relative, right? I mean, you had bad things happen to you, I had bad things happen to me, and both of those bad situations lifted us to another level. So, we call it negative, but, maybe they're not. There just is. How do I focus on the positive? It's a choice. I look at all the, if-then statements. I have a math background. I have an engineering background. So I look at all the if-then statements and do, you know what? Nah, don't like that. No, don't want to focus on, ooh, I like that one. I'm going to focus on that possibility, that positive possibility. And the way I look at life is I can focus on the negative and feel down and, just get smothered by it. Between what brain injury, cancer, you name it, all the things that went through my body went through, I have a lot to be negative about. But why? When I can choose to not and find that one glimmer and focus on that. And when I do that, I focus on positive and more positive comes towards me. My life has enriched because of that, because I found the good in the chaos. And I encourage other people to do that. When I have my clients with me, I do. Look at your possibilities. Choose the one you like. Don't focus on the one you don't like. Focus on the one you like and do that.
We keep these Facebook givebacks to about 30 minutes. And I always want to make sure that we're giving tactical, real life how-tos in the time that we have together. And by the way, Michelle is going to be giving a free gift to everyone. I didn't say it at the beginning like I sometimes do. I got so sidetracked with my friend and just talking about our connection, is that this is not a bait and switch. There are no sales with these programs. This is totally a give back. And I know that Michelle's going to be talking about that in a little bit, but can you give, us, the audience, a couple of the strategies, the actual walk through how to going through this, particularly when we're in the middle of a crisis, when we have this overwhelming, out of control experience? What can you suggest for everyone to do as maybe the first and second step of how to weather the storm?
I do them constantly. You know, if you watch me in any way, shape, or form, follow me on Facebook or my website, you name it, YouTube, I've had a lot of tragedy go through my life. And what I do, and I believe you do the same thing. Practice what you preach, right? I mean, if you are, talking about attitude and, getting up, you need to know how to use your own tools. I use the same tools I offer to my clients. And here's one of them. And the reason I want to share it is because it saves my life. I use it so fast now that it's almost like I blink and I've already done it all. So here it is, Byron Katie. I love Byron Katie. Byron Katie has something called The Work by Byron Katie. Just Google it. And it asks you, I'll give you the high level, 4 questions. The first question you ask yourself when something happens. So let's say with my, COVID, okay. All this stuff happens and all my speaking engagements to the end of the year cancel. Oh my gosh, my life is over. First question is, can you say that's true? Well, yeah, my life is over. My income has stopped. Okay, number 2, can you always say that is true? No, I can't always say that is true. Well, 3, how do you feel when you feel that thought that your life is over? I feel horrible. I don't like feeling that way. So question number 4, who would you be without that feeling? I'd be really happy. Oh, well then I don't want to feel that thought. And it just immediately erases all that negative that was coming up. That's how fast my brain processes. It's how do you feel? How does that make it feel? And if you get really good at The Work by Byron Katie, those first 4 questions will pretty much stop every argument, every feeling of inadequacy. Anytime you feel like someone hurt you, if you run those questions through your head really quickly, you've got it. Now, if you want to go deeper, she has far more questions, but that number 1 tidbit that I'm giving to you right now for the give back is look at Byron Katie, The Work. Ask yourself those 4 questions and it will pretty much stop most doubt almost immediately.
I love that because, and most of the folks that are watching that know me, I have really designed my coaching and my speaking, my training around asking questions. Mm-hmm. And when we are able to do that, I think, and tell me if this is true, when we ask a question, we are actually slowing up to be able to look for an answer that could lead us to another question, which is actually what you just described in the 4 questions. And does that give us that empowerment back of being able to decide what the reaction is, or does it do something else?
I believe it gives us control. I mean, when we knee-jerk react to something that goes through our head, we do, oh, and we think every negative. But if you stop yourself and do, well, can I say that's true? It stops the avalanche or the domino effect of trauma. And it makes you step back and think, well, wait a minute. And it brings back your logical side, right? Instead of your, what is that word? The mammal side, the animal side of your brain that does go. Yeah.
The lizard brain.
Yeah, the lizard brain. It pulls the lizard brain out of control, and the brain that actually thinks this, wait a minute, maybe I'm overreacting. And that's why it's important to ask yourself questions, because it stops the rapid, oh my gosh, and then you know how whenever you think one bad thought, it just, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you just start building. The next thing you know, you're in the ball in the corner doing, I can't move. And that's what questions do. They stop you from going into that avalanche of out of control and gives you back the wheel so you can control it again.
So let's say a person that's listening is feeling this way and they're feeling like this could be maybe a technique that would work for them, and they come up with those answers. What would be something that they could do to apply the answer after they get it?
How to apply it? Mm-hmm. That's a good question, because it depends on the question that you're asking yourself.
Let's go back to COVID. So it's pretty much a worldwide, event for everyone dealing with it in some way. Mm-hmm. And so they go through and they find out that, the reality is it's not as overwhelming emotionally as they felt originally. Is there something that they could now do with that new information that would help them move through it.
Well, they can ask themselves the same questions again for the next scenario. So like these questions don't end. They're not the four questions and stop. It's, okay, now what? Well, this, A, B, and C, D. And then, okay, I pick B. Okay, so how do you feel when B? And you ask the same questions over and over again. And if you go into the work by Byron Katie, I think she has another like 8 questions you ask deeper, and then you flip them, and then you start talking about yourself, and it's really deep. But the 4 questions, I would say you start again. So like with me, with those 4 questions, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have no income. And what it did is it slowed me down enough to do, you know what? I don't have big stages right now, and I won't probably till the end of the year, if we're lucky, right? So my thing is now it gave me a step back, and I went, okay, well, how do I prevent this from happening again? How do I fix this? Oh, I need to get my online programs on, you see? And so what it did is it made me step back and realize, okay, here's the playing field. Here's something I put in my back seat that I've never pulled back out. Okay, now it's time to pull it out of my back seat. We need to make that happen. Get your online programs working on your website. So that's something else you can all look for, because my timeline is by the end of next week. So let's see if I manage to do that.
Ah, so you're putting the gauntlet down.
Yes.
You know, and that's where I was thinking you were going to go with this, because it's not a one and done. And it really flows into the title, the topic of today, that finding the possible impossibilities, and the possibilities in the beginning when we're so emotional, I would guess. And what I have found in working with my clients is that sometimes we can't see them just because of the emotion, and we're flailing, we're grasping at something that could give us some sort of security and foundation. So it really was, I really enjoyed you coming back and saying, no, do it again. And then do it again. It's almost like that onion analogy. You were going deeper and deeper and deeper until that creativity does show up, is what I'm hearing you say, and then be able to have a direction out of the possibilities.
It's exactly what it is. You keep going with those questions until you do, you know what, I got this. And the way I saw it originally was, you know, if I'm from water, okay, I'm an island girl. When you see someone drowning, you don't rush out to them, because they're doing this, right? They're flailing, and they'll take you down with them. So what you do is you throw them out that, was it the life preserver? The life preserver is the questions. You throw it out so they do, and they're still scared, but they're holding on to something. Now you can save them. Now your mind can save you, because all the flailing has stopped. When you're in panic mode, when you're in the emotional state, there is no progress, because you are the legs of a duck. You know, you like to do that one. You duck on the top, you look all calm, but your legs are going crazy on the bottom. And so you want that calmness in order to find your direction. And that's what questions do. They are a course correction. Okay, well, I don't like that, I like this. Okay, let's start moving that direction. Okay, here I am, but what about this? And then you ask your 4 questions again. Ooh, okay, I like this better. And you start moving. Now, when you start working with these questions, I want you all out there who are listening to practice these 4 questions on any question that comes through your mind. Oh, I wonder if he likes me. Oh, I wonder if I did a really good job on that post today, or any of those questions. Any question that comes through, practice those 4 Byron Katie, the work questions, because what will happen is you get so good at answering them. When you actually have a traumatic or trauma kind of question, you work faster. And your brain does whoop, click, 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 click. I got it. I'm good. I'm good. And then you can move faster. And that's what's so magical about stepping back, questioning yourself, and forcing that reptilian part of your brain to do, oh, wait, I don't have to panic anymore. Okay, that side of the brain's got it. I'm good. Magical.
It reminds me of when I went through the police academy, and they talked about muscle memory. It's when you get into a high stress situation, we better practice it before we get there, or we will not have maybe the result that we're wanting to have going through that episode. And what you just said, again, I was hoping you were going to say, because it is a value for any area of our life. I know that as professional speakers, we have had so many different things happen on stage, from technology, clickers not working, technology going out, sound, lights going out.
Lips coming off.
It just, you do this long enough, there's going to be things that happen. But if you have not practiced this, you will actually contribute to the energy that is happening around you as a stimulus instead of being part of the solution. And again, this is where this topic may seem a little bit woo-woo. It isn't. It is so substantive that when you practice this, you're going to be able to apply it with family situations and, professional, personal, whatever it may be. And that's why I was really, really excited when, Michelle decided to come up with this topic, because a lot of times we don't talk about this end of it. And this is really a foundational process that I hope you guys are taking seriously. So what I'd like to do is do a little bit of a switch. And Michelle, would you let everybody know what your free gift is?
My free gift is, if you're listening to this and doing, Michelle, that whole work thing, asking yourself questions makes no sense to me. I'm giving a 30-minute consultation with me. Get on a phone, on a Zoom call with me, and we'll talk. And you can say, okay, Michelle, that's woo-woo. I don't know what that is. Or you can say, holy smokes, that's working for me. And let's talk, because I like eyeballs and I like to talk one-on-one. And I thought, we'll give that out. If you want to join me on a 30-minute consult, I'm going to put my calendar link straight into the bottom of this thread, and you will see my calendar link. It will bring you straight to a 30-minute consult with me, just me, and we'll see it from there.
You're not going to have me with you?
Nope.
And for those of you that maybe it's not just this topic, but I'd like to do a shout out for Michelle, as she is a tremendous speaker coach and allows anybody to bring their message out. And if that's a question you'd like to use, I'm guessing that will be okay as well.
30 minutes, it's whatever you want to talk about.
And this is a gift that comes 6 months from now. If you're happy to watch this on YouTube later on, I'd say go ahead and see if you can get this. But my guess is Michelle will be extremely busy. You may have a line to wait in. So,
and that's why I put the calendar link in, because that way it'll stop my calendar from overlapping. Yeah.
So, okay. So we've got a couple of things that I want to do before we, end the call today. And the way we come out of the free gift is I'd like to challenge you with giving 3 walk-away tips. I call it the marching orders, that you would like to see everyone on the call, if they choose to embrace this concept, what would you like them to do? So 3 things that they could implement. In other words, making what we're talking about today applicable and implementable. So what do you think those 3 things are? By the way, I never tell my guests that I'm going to do this. So this is purely core information.
Number 1, I want you to Google The Work by Byron Katie. Get those 4 questions, have them written down or printed, and keep them in your pocket or keep them on your computer, wherever you need to keep them. Actually, keep them multiple places. Number 2, I want you to look for the possible in the possibilities. Whenever you have anything come in front of you and you do, oh, I want you to think, let your negative thoughts go through, let all the possibles, but I want you to look at them, do A/B testing, and basically say, I want to focus on this other one. I want to focus on the one that makes me happy. Now, a lot of people have difficulty with that. Focus on the possibility that makes you happy. It's a positive possibility. And then 3rd, I want you to look in the mirror every day, and I want you to say, I got this. I have control of my own emotions, and that what happens around me does not define me. Got that? I've got this. What's happening around me does not define me. So those are the 3 things I'd like to have you do. Look up The Work by Byron Katie. The second one is look at all your possibilities and pick the positive one that makes you happy and focus on that. And then the 3rd is look in the mirror and say, I've got this. My surroundings, what's happening around me does not define me. We have to remind ourselves of that, because we have a lot of things on the outside that are pounding on us, telling us we're supposed to be and act a certain way. Don't act the way the rest of the world wants you to act. You control you. It's your choice.
Man, powerful. And I'm going to ask you, when you put your calendar information in the thread or down in comments, would you also put the link to I have
Byron?
Byron, yeah. And that way, if they misspell it, make it easy for them to be able to connect there, because it sounds like it's going to be a great resource for everyone.
It's huge.
So, everyone, we're coming to the end. There is going to be one more surprise here in just about a minute. And I didn't introduce myself. I'm Gary Burns, for those of you that don't know. And you can reach me with any questions that you have on this episode or any other at Gary Barnes, Barnes, international spelled out.com. And we are doing these on topics that, I want to bring the topics that are really important to you right now, that are valuable and that you can use. And so if there's a topic that we have not done yet, you can go onto my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, by the way, to my YouTube channel, so you'll be notified when these new videos go up. But send me an email with a topic, and if I have a resource for that, I will bring that guest on and we'll do a give back program with them, and I'd be happy to do that. So one last thing before we wrap up is, Michelle.
Yes.
I would like you to, whatever you want to give as a send-off, as an encouragement, words of wisdom, anything that you would like to just give back right now to this audience today, what would you like it to be?
The quote that just popped through my head is a quote from my book, because it's what came through me at the very beginning of all of this mess, was change is scary. It's not, it's difficult. It's not a field of daisies with butterflies and roses or whatever. The change is a difficult thing that makes you look at yourself and see who you truly are at your core. But the beauty of all of it is in the possibilities.
Man, how do we get better than that? So, Michelle, thank you so much for being a guest on the Give Back program. And I'd like to encourage everyone once more to reach out to Michelle. You'll be glad you did. And we'll see you on the next Facebook Give Back Live series.
Thanks for having me.